Hey, how are we all today? Just felt drawn to do a reading today, so I will be sort of seeing what comes out. I think is what we're going to sort of be focusing on. There is only sort of 1 week left in April 2023, so we'll see sort of what's going to pop out for everyone, what's going to be most important for everyone for this sort of last ending of April 2023. Um, Yeah, so I suppose we'll get straight into it today. Um, I am using the Art Nouveau Lenormand deck there. I think I might also use the Reynos do Fogo as well, the Fire Queen's deck there. And I do have the Heal Yourself Oracle cards today as well. So they're sort of just more generalized cards. Those ones, they do only have sort of one keyword. So we'll sort of see if they're going to work with us today. Like I said, I am sort of doing this sort of last minute, not feeling ultra prepared, but I just really felt drawn to do some readings this afternoon. So heading on into it before I go elsewhere for the night and whatnot. But yeah, so I suppose we'll get right on into it there. So we'll start over with Aries and work our way through the signs today. So we're just looking at, whatever's coming out for Aries for the end of April 2023. What's going to be most important for Aries to be aware of for this last week of April. Okay, so you know what, I might actually pull out that oracle straight away, and we'll use that as our overview for what's going on with the messages today. So Aries, this is the Heal Yourself Oracle deck there. So we'll just grab one of those for Aries for the end of April 2023. What does Aries need to know about this week? Okay, so we've got our overview as the selling out card. Okay, so that sort of talks about, like what aspects within yourself are you selling out, or if it could also be, a little bit flipped for you there, like feeling someone has sold you out in some sort of sense. But it really does sort of talk about more so that energy of like, what are you giving out that you don't really want to be giving that energy out. It really is sort of like, as you can see, it's the vampire zombie looking girl there, covered in blood. It looks like, someone's taken her for a wild ride there, so to speak. So there may actually be a little bit of, I was sort of not sure whether I was going to be looking at some more, 18 plus kind of elements today, because YouTube is the PG Disney channel, so we've got to be really careful about what we say on YouTube and how we say it. So I will try to make sure I'm not coming out with anything too brash that YouTube's gonna not be happy about. But selling out, so it's like, it's that idea of prostitution is a lot more than just your body. It's your mind and your energy as well. What is it that you are putting out there that you don't like? What are you giving to people that you don't actually really want to give to people when it comes to your energy and you yourself, like your deepest parts of yourself? What are you giving away that you actually want to hold on to a little bit closer? So I am seeing with the Lenormand, we do have the garden, the bear, and the male all coming out there. So, I do feel that could be talking about, the more social aspects of yourself there. So what are you giving too much to your friends at the moment, that sort of a thing. You might be having some friends at this time who sort of are asking you for some extra help. They're wanting you to go out with them and whatnot, and you just don't really, that may not be what you really want to do. You may want to just sit at home and read a book or whatever, but it does sort of have that with that selling out card, it really does ask us to look at what we're expending in our lives that we don't actually need to. So it can cover quite a lot of things as well. Like I said, it's more than just the body. It's although that for some people out there that may be what the physical thing is, that you're such a giving person or whatever, that people are just taking and taking and taking, and you're not sort of getting anything back for that. And sort of, I'm really getting that vibe of like people like not so much manipulating you, but like bribing you and controlling you with certain things, like especially with the masculine coming out as well. Like that masculine energy sometimes can be quite a more controlling, dominative type energy. So it could even just be things like friends sort of saying, oh, if you come and do this with me, we'll do this for you or whatever, but then not actually getting the thing in return. But when it does have the garden there, that is usually quite a restful social sort of a card there as well. So, but I think it is sort of more talking about being protective of your restful times and being a bit more protective of your energy socially. So like if you are, people are wanting you to go out and inviting you to a lot of places, or you're having to go out and interact with a lot of people, just at this current time, it's sort of just letting you know that it's okay to stand in your power and say no, and it's okay to be a little bit defensive about look, I don't want to go out or whatever. So it may also be a specific a male that has some sort of a power over you. Obviously, we don't genderize the cards, so it would just be somebody in that more masculine energy. They may have some sort of power over you in some sense. So, it could be like a boss or a family member that are like, well, you have to come with me. And, and you're just so used to going along with it, that, but it's talking about sort of stopping at the moment and standing in your own power and being a little bit more protective of that, that peaceful side of yourself, wanting to just be peaceful, and not sort of having to do what you're told, so to speak. I am getting a bit of that sort of a vibe coming from that there. So I feel like this week it's going to be very important for you to really, really look at, what aspects of yourself, where in your life are you doing things that you don't actually want to be doing. So like we all know that a lot of the time when we're, going to work and things like that, a lot of the time you don't want to be going to work, but it's something that you're doing for your own survival. So it could even just be talking about, like having just a bit of drama going on at work at the moment, and really wanting to be protective of yourself when it comes to those social aspects. And I feel like, it's sort of just letting you know that it's okay to be like that. And, we all have our weeks as well, so maybe next week you can be a little bit more sociable, but I'll grab you some advice as well, Aries, on how to actually deal with that. How should Aries be dealing with this energy, please? Advice for Aries for this last week of April. Okay, so I'm sort of seeing the book and the dog for the advice there. So, I'm seeing with the dog straight away, it's like coming back to the friendship, because the garden is such a social sort of card. I feel like we are talking about, those sort of more friendship type relationships at the moment. And it's like kind of reminding you that, just being a loyal and compassionate, being a good friend doesn't always mean having to do whatever your friends want you to do. You don't always have to do what they want you to do. Sometimes being a good friend is, you know, you got to remember you've also got to be a good friend to yourself. Like you can see in this dog card, he's curled up there all by himself, so he's not actually, there is a bit of a protective energy with that one as well, like the bear there coming through, but because dogs can be quite loyal and protective in that sense as well. But I feel like it is just sort of letting you know that you need to be a good friend to yourself. You can't be a good friend to, all these other people if you're not being loyal to yourself at the end of the day as well there. And with the book there, the book a lot of the time really does talk about, your story, wanting to write your story the way that you want to write it. You don't need a ghostwriter or anything like that for your own life. You are the master of your life. You are the author of your story. So really actually just sort of stopping and looking at things at the moment about those sort of elements, and your advice could even be something quite literal, like sitting down and writing out a list of what is actually important to you, what friendships you do really want to maintain that loyalty, and maintain that friendship with, and sort of working out for yourself, like, what do I need, versus what do people need from me? And so really sort of looking at both sides of that and finding that balance in the middle as well. Okay, so that was where we're starting off today for you, Aries. But like I said, I was tossing up whether or not to do the over 18 section for us today. But we'll see how we go. So what's coming up for Aries with physical passion and desire this week, please? What's coming up for Aries when it comes to physical passion and desire? Okay, so we saw we did see the masculine coming out there with that original storyline for you there, Aries, and now we are seeing the female energy coming out there for you on that physical desire side of things. Okay, so what we're seeing here is the mountain, the ship, and then the woman. Okay, so if I'm reading for someone who is attracted to women, obviously we do definitely have some physical passion coming up for you this week. But if you are yourself identify as the more feminine, this could just be talking about you and your ship sort of coming in for you, and really focusing on you getting what you want and need this week. Okay, but with the mountain there, it can talk about some delays and challenges when it comes to physical intimacy. So but it's kind of a juxtaposition there. We might be looking at it could be quite literal and be talking about a woman from overseas or something like that, because with the ship and the mountain there, both of those can sometimes relate to like overseas type connections. The mountain also is the card for Capricorn. So the person we're talking about that might be popping up for you this week might be a Capricorn. The ship is not connected to anybody in particular, and neither is the woman there. But it could also be talking about putting in a little bit of hard work on a more physical level, and then your ships are going to really come in for you this week. So we do see quite a lot of movement with the ship. So it looks like the opportunities for some, physical intimacy are going to be there for you this week. It's just going to be up to you whether you choose to let the ship dock at your station. But yeah, like I said, with the mountain there could be some delays or slight challenges getting there. Okay, or the person could be coming from a distance as well. So sometimes that can also be something with that combination as well. They may literally live in the mountains and be traveling to where you are, or vice versa. So you might meet them while you are traveling if you have that plan this week, Aries. So quite a lot of interpretations there, but it's definitely looking like there are some opportunities for you this week. Having that feminine energy there and having that hard work energy there on the other side is kind of it's kind of saying to me that, yeah, there definitely could be, some as long as we're putting in the hard work, or we're willing to put in the hard work when it comes to whoever we're connecting with this week, we may be experiencing a little bit of hard work to get to the soft, feminine, loving kind of result when it comes to any physical connections this week. So yeah, that's what I've got for you this week, Aries. Let me know if that resonates for you. And, leave a comment below. We will be offering a free personal when I do get to 100 subscribers. So make sure you leave a comment so you can be in the draw for that. And obviously subscribe so you can keep updated as well. If this is where we leave each other, thank you for your time, Aries. Okay, so moving on to Taurus. How are we today, Taurus? Just doing a bit of a little bit of everything sort of thing this week. We are sort of looking at a few little things, but mostly just sort of wanting to finish off, see what's coming in for that last week of April that we're headed into there. So what I'm doing, I'll start with an oracle from the Heal Yourself reading cards deck. Get us a bit of an overview of what's happening this week for you, Taurus. Taurus, what does Taurus need to know for the last of April 2023, please? Okay, so as our overview, we are looking at procrastination. Okay, so obviously procrastination is all about sort of umming and ahhing a little bit at the moment, Taurus. Not sort of sure if we want to jump jump straight in or not, sort of that energy of, we feel like something might be coming up for us, but we're not sure which way we want to go, or whether we want to jump straight into it, or whether we want to hold back. So, we may be seeing a little bit of stagnancy for you this week, Taurus, when it comes to certain things, but we shall see what else comes out for you there, Taurus. Taurus, for the last week of April 2023, please. Okay, so we're seeing first and foremost the Scythe card there. So the Scythe card really does talk about sudden changes and things suddenly, ending or moving and changing and transforming into other things. So with the procrastination card as well, I feel like, it's kind of one of those things where, you might be procrastinating about making a big change. And I'm seeing here that it could actually be something to do with, your physical housing. We do have the coffin and the house card there. So it could be physical housing issues. It could also be like your inner stability and security as well with the house card, or even possibly family related issues as well on a more physical level there. But so whatever this, I feel like you guys probably do know or have an idea of the things that you do want to change in those areas. And it's all about this week feeling like we're either going to not sort of be a bit wishy-washy about whether we're going to do it. And then if we do make a choice, it's going to be really quick and sudden choice, like out of nowhere type vibe. But I feel like that's sort of what you need to do is, just jump on in and make the choice one way or another. And it's going to work out for you one way or another, isn't it? Because we are seeing here with the coffin really is about things needing to end in order to be reborn as well. It does talk quite a lot about those cycles, closing out old things that are no longer working for you, so that we can sort of be born again into the new energy there. And with the house, like I said, it's more a physical representation of inner stability or security, as well as, it could be, your physical home, maybe moving home, wanting to move home, wanting to buy a new home, those sorts of a thing. Or it could be somewhat family related as well. Sometimes that does talk about sort of like the family home as well. So you guys are going to know what that represents the most. I feel you guys probably are already procrastinating and are already sort of tossing up what you want to do about this issue. So I'll grab some clearer advice for you when it comes to this particular issue. So advice for Taurus for the last week of April, please. Okay, so we're getting love, the heart there and the mountain there. So loving energy being very important with however you choose to deal with this. If you're coming from a place of love and you're following your heart with what you do decide, you're going to be making the right decision. That's pretty rest assured. But this one here, the mountain, is just sort of letting us know there may be a little bit of hard work or some delays or challenges involved with the choice that you do make. Okay, so the advice is to sort of slog it out with the hard work that is necessary. So I feel that's where that procrastination's coming from as well, because you may be very aware that whatever you choose, there's going to be some hard work involved. Yeah, so I really feel that that's sort of just letting you know that, you know what, it's okay that we are procrastinating a little bit. Just, remember that as long as you put in the hard work, you'll surmount the mountain. It won't be it won't be an issue forever. It won't be there forever. Unlike a real mountain, the mountain in the lenormand, it does shift and change once we get to the top and can sort of see our way clear. But it is really just wanting you to know to focus on, the loving energy, the love side of things at the moment. So if it's a choice based on a love decision, definitely choose it with love and make sure you're following your heart when you make the choice, and you should be fine. Okay, now I'm just chucking in a little bit of a brand new little question for everyone at the end. When this week we're going to be asking about what's coming up on a physical intimacy for you for the rest of the week, okay? So I've got to be careful about how I say things because we are on the Disney Channel, very PG orientated YouTube, so we do need to be careful about how we say things, but we are looking at the more physical intimacy things coming in for you this week as well, okay? So what does Taurus have coming up this week with physical intimacy? Wow, okay. Go Taurus. Okay, so Taurus, we are seeing the garden there, and I'll just double check my numbers. I just want to make sure that that's definitely, yeah, of course it is, because it's the one right before. Sorry, talking to myself a little bit there. Okay, so we've got the garden, and then we have both the male and the female energy coming through for you. So, we could be talking about a three-party situation. It's more fun with friends. Or no, it could just be talking about, really, really getting down into our base natures. We are definitely seeing two separate energies coming through this week. So, as to whether that's one of those may be you, or if these are two people separate to you, that I'll leave that up to you to decide. But we are seeing the garden card as well, which really does talk about meetings and invitations. So you might be getting, proposals to dinner and invitations to go out for dinner before some fiery displays. Yeah, like I can't get past the three is a crowd energy. So it may resonate for some of you out there, Taurus. So, well, happy birthday season anyway, I suppose, right? Got to have a bit of a fun birthday season, don't we, Taurus? But yeah, the garden there, it really does talk about, meeting people. So whether these are people that you haven't yet met and meeting some new people this coming week, or whether this is talking about, meeting up with people that you do already know. I am definitely seeing two energies there. Like I said, one of these could be you, but I feel like you might have more than one option headed your way this week. One being a more masculine energy, the other being a more feminine energy. So, however you want to genderize those individuals, that's up to you. You know, we do just sort of talk more about the masculine, feminine energy rather than actual genders here. But yeah, it sounds like Taurus need to get in the comments and let me know what they've got planned for this week, because sounds like quite interesting, and I'm so nosy. I want to know all the juicy details, guys. But leave me a comment if you want to be in the draw for a free personal. I will be drawing that when we hit 100 subscribers, so make sure you comment and obviously subscribe so you can be updated when that comes along as well. But we'll move over there into Gemini. How are we, Gemini? Sorry, just making sure I've got my timestamps for everybody. But on to Gemini now, and just sort of wanting to check in and see how we're looking for the last week of April 2023. So firstly, I will grab you guys an oracle from the Heal Yourself reading cards deck there. I'm using these as a bit of an overview this week, so we sort of know what energy we're headed into for the week, the last week of April here. So Gemini, last week of April 2023, please. Okay, so we have the Dreams card coming through for you. Now, I absolutely love this card. I adore this card. Isn't it gorgeous? With the tiger and the fairy curled up on him. Lovely. And we see the tree imagery in the background there as well. So, you know, the tiger does talk quite a lot about strength and those sorts of things. And then we've got the softer fairy type energy as well. But the Dreams card, it really does talk about, you know, dreams. So so we could be looking at things that, you know, things that you thought were impossible could be happening this week, you know, or we could actually be seeing that your actual dreams may be important for you this week as well. So if you have been having any specific dreams, especially like repeated dreams, would be something to keep a note of this week, Gemini. There may be an important message for you in your dreams this week. But also this is talking about, you know, like daydreams, the things that we, you know, the things that we sort of sit there and dream about happening in our lives. We are really sort of heading into a week where we are going to be able to start manifesting those things into reality. So we've just hit the start of Taurus season there, and the new moon has welcomed us in. So, you know, that is actually a really good time to be sort of putting down our intentions for the things that we want to manifest. You know, so I feel that this is a really strong week for you guys to be doing so. You know, stopping and thinking about the things that, you know, you may feel that they're totally out of reach, but really like putting it out there to the universe that even though this is a dream and it's nowhere close to my reality right now, this would be my long-term dream come true, my dream job or my dream partner. I feel like it's a good week to start sort of imagining what we really would want to fulfill our dreams. And you know, once you've got that, you know, the end result, you can work your way back into smaller goals and achievable things for right here, right now. But yeah, it's definitely sort of letting us know that we're going to be able to, you know, start bringing those things into reality. So that's a really positive start for you guys, Gemini. That's like the second or third time I've called Gemini. So I'm just going to roll with it, guys. So sometimes we just can't talk properly, can we? Also, I'm Australian, so you guys probably can't understand half of what I say already, right? Oh, let me know in the comments if there is anything in particular that I'm saying that you're having trouble with as well, because like I do understand that, you know, sometimes people do struggle with different accents and things like that. So you know, I don't think I have an accent. I'm used to my voice, but I am quite aware that sometimes I do use a lot of slang and things that, you know, Australians might understand, but a lot of the rest of the world might have no clue what I'm talking about. So, you know, if I do that to you guys, make sure you let me know and ask me in the comments what I'm talking about. Sorry, a bit of a tangent there, Gemini. Okay, so what's going on for Gemini this week, please? Last week of April 2023. What does Gemini need to know, please? Okay, so straight away we're seeing, you know, the snake and the woman coming through. And I have also got the coffin here as well. I am getting just one particular storyline off this energy right now, and it's related to a specific person. Okay, so there's a specific person in your life, a more feminine energy. I don't like to sort of genderize, but I am getting that sort of vibe that it probably is a woman in your life. So it could be a woman of importance, like someone within the family, like a mother figure, you know, or you know, a partner or a friend or something like that. But I am getting a little bit of a vibe at the moment that this person is a little bit of a snake in the grass. Okay, so I don't really like to, you know, the snake has quite a few meanings. Okay, but I am just sort of, like I said, just getting one storyline from this at the moment. Okay, so if you have had dreams about this specific person, if you've been dreaming about a specific friend or family member, you know, and you know how you have those dreams sometimes where, you know, it feels so real, and then the next day you wake up and you're like, why did you do that? And the person's like, I didn't do that. And you're like, oh, I dreamt that you did. Like, I think that your dreams might be giving you a bit of a clue into somebody's real nature. So if you've been having any dreams like that, pay extra attention, you know, to the way that you're feeling about your friends and family or whatever in your dreams. You know, I feel that there's a message in there for you that, you know, somebody may be a little bit deceptive, and you may not know exactly, you know, the whole truth of certain situations or what they're telling you or something like that. You know, with the snake energy, we do see that energy of, you know, like the Adam Eve story where the snake tempted Eve into eating the apple. So it can be talking about, you know, like temptations and just that little bit of deceptiveness along with that. You know, someone that's like, it feels like someone just leading you astray a little bit, like not necessarily deceiving you, but just like, you know, leading you to do certain things because they know how you will act or whatever. So it just feels like someone's sort of leading you astray just a little bit there. It's slightly deceptive, but I wouldn't go out of the way to say that it's like full, they're lying to you out of the, you know, nothing like that. I don't feel that strongly about that. I just feel like it's like they're tempting you to take the wrong choices at the moment. They're like pushing you down the wrong path. They're making you see things unclearly. You know, they're just sort of murking the waters a little bit for you at the moment, I feel, this particular person. Okay. But like I said, that can be read quite a few ways. So, you know, if that doesn't resonate for you, make sure you check your other placements and whatnot as well. And then we are seeing the coffin. Okay, so the coffin really does talk about ending things that are no longer serving. So it's sort of telling you that, you know, if you do have someone in your life like that, that it probably is time to close the lid on that, so that we can transform that energy into something new. Okay, because the coffin really is talking about cycles, and, you know, like sometimes things, you know, need to suffer some sort of a death for them to be reborn again. Okay, so I feel like, yeah, it is kind of talking about a specific person, and I feel like, Gemini, that there may just be somebody that you just need to close the lid on at the moment. So it may not even be like having to stop talking to them and cut them off completely, anything like that. I just feel like it's just for this sort of week. Like, you know, maybe just this week they're just not going to be giving you the best advice, you know, that they could be giving you, and they may just lead you astray a little bit. So just closing closing down on them this week, just so that we can get into that new cycle when things can sort of go back into a more smooth pace. But I will grab some advice for you when it comes to that. Advice for Gemini, please. Okay, so this card's come out for everybody so far. So this is the Mountain, and it's talking about sometimes, you do have a few little obstacles or challenges coming your way. So it just talks about taking those in your stride, but then we also are seeing the Letter and the Child. Okay, so once again, I feel like this is talking directly about that person. So it's sort of giving us a little bit more clarity and the way that you should be dealing with that as well. So when it comes to a little bit more clarity, it might be some sort of communication where they're leading you astray just a little bit. And so they might be coming from a more like immature place. They might not deal with things in the most mature manner. And so, of course, their advice is not going to be the most mature advice, if that makes sort of sense there. So just sort of remember when we're dealing with these people that, if somebody is coming from a place that is, not quite fully developed in that particular area that they're talking about, they're not going to be giving you the full mature advice, are they? So I'd be definitely sort of taking the advice of professionals and those sorts of things way more than just friends who, I did this one time. So something like, it's just something really small, Gemini. It's not feeling huge at all. It's just feeling like some little niggly thing going on with a friend or something like that. Or just, yeah, like I said, I don't feel like it's any huge deception or anything like that. And I don't feel that there's actually any, ill intent behind it. I think it might just be the way that they communicate about things. And so it's sort of your advice being for you to look at how you're communicating as well, and make sure you're not coming from a place where you're, coming from a place where you're acting the way that you would when you were a child, especially with that woman, can sometimes talk about mother figure, and then we're seeing the child in your advice. So I feel like it's kind of, placing that juxtaposition of a mother and child, you know what I mean? So like someone might be trying to give you advice as though they're more older and mature than you, and they know more about the thing than you do, and acting as though you're the child. And I feel like it's just sort of making sure that you communicate, but not from a place of playing into that role, so you're not, even if you are their physical child, not playing into that role. Like, you're your own person and you have your own knowledge and your own experiences. And of course you're going to, sometimes you're going to have different opinions on things. But sometimes your advice may actually be better than somebody else's advice, if they're coming from a place that's not quite, as experienced in that particular thing or whatever. So I feel like it's just talking about communicating with yourself, communicating even with, your sense of innocence and joy and wonderment at the world as well. But like I said, I just feel like that's sort of just letting you know that, putting in the hard work to communicate on a mature level is going to be important to you somehow this week, Gemini. So that's a bit of a weird one. Like I said, it is a bit of a more specific story, so it doesn't really necessarily going to resonate for everybody, but we'll see how we go. Let me know. But what I am adding in a little extra segment today where we're looking at, physical intimacy headed your way this week as well. Okay, so we're looking at, like the passion and desire elements of life headed your way in sort of physical reality. I've got to be really careful about what I say, but I hope everyone understands what I'm talking about. If you do watch other readers, you will understand that, you have to be really careful the way you talk about things on YouTube when it comes to adult only fun. I'm struggling. But that's what I'm talking about today. So we're going to look at that for you, Gemini. What's headed towards Gemini with physical intimacy, please, this week? Okay, so once again, seeing that woman popping on out. So this person, you know, maybe someone that you're dealing with on a more intimate level this week as well. Or this could be a total, it kind of does feel like a different energy, to be honest, because I'm seeing it next to the book as well. So, you know, that does talk about new chapters and things like that. So even if it is that same energy, it does talk about, you know, starting new chapters with that person, you know, after we've had all these happen, and then we're, you know, you're communicating with them from a mature perspective, that maybe we can lead into a new chapter with that person. But yeah, I do feel as though it may be a different person altogether. But we are sort of seeing, you know, paths, the road card there. And now with this deck, I do feel like it does sort of say, rather than being choices or decisions like the road normally can talk about, I do feel like this is sort of just letting you know that you're on the right path and something's coming across your path this week. Something, it's probably going to be new, or something that so far unknown to you. Okay, so we're going to be seeing either a new person. I don't want to genderize, so it could be a brand new person headed into your life this week, coming across your path. Um, or it could just be, you know, new elements that you and this person have not yet explored. So new things, trying new things this week. Okay, and this is sort of the right path for you at the moment. So it does have a little element of destiny with the road card there as well. So it's like, you know, the roads you haven't traveled yet may be the next chapter of your story when it comes to physical intimacy. Okay, so I definitely feel that that's actually telling you, you know, if you are having some physical intimacy upcoming this week, try something new that you haven't tried before, and you know, it may actually become a part of your story from here on out. It might work in your favor. That's what I'm getting from that for you, Gemini. So thank you for your time. And like I said, leave me a comment and let me know if that resonates. And anyone that comments will also be in the draw for a free personal reading when I do hit 100 subscribers. So, you know, obviously subscribe so you can be in the draw for that as well. But I'll move over on to Cancer. How are we today, Cancer? Just looking, you know, at this last week of April 2023 for you today, Cancer. Just, once again, I always do it. I want to do just a really super quick reading, and then I bring in extra elements that I wasn't planning on. So I was just feeling super drawn to do some readings today, and I'm just sort of trying out a few new things and seeing how it all goes. It seems to be working pretty well so far. But we're just starting off with an oracle card for you from the Heal Yourself deck, just to get a bit of an overview of what's going on for you this week, Cancer. Okay, so your overview for the week is going to be take off your masks. Okay, so that really does talk about the things that, you know, the way that we project ourselves to the world, the way that we show ourselves to people. Okay, and it's talking about being a lot more vulnerable this week, you know, taking off that mask, so to speak, and letting people see the real you. You know, people want to know who you really are on the inside as well, you know. So it does talk about sometimes not letting our vulnerabilities and our personal insecurities get the better of us and make us hide who we really are. You know, I know a lot of people you know, do tend to act a certain way when really they feel like they want to present a different way completely, but they have trouble sort of balancing the two. So it's really talking about taking off that mask this week and, you know, letting the world see you shine for exactly who you are, good and bad. You know, we are all human after all. You know, we all have good and we all have bad. So, you know, if they don't like it, they'll deal with it one way or another, right? uh, okay, Cancer. So we'll get what's going on for Cancer this week? What does Cancer need to know for the last week of April 2023? Okay, so we are seeing for you, Cancer, we've got the stork energy there, the child energy, as well as the birds energy there. Okay, so straight away, this is definitely not going to be for every Cancer out there, okay, but straight away the combination of these cards literally could actually be saying that you know, you're going to get a phone call about a pregnancy or about a child this week. Okay, so I know that's not going to resonate for everybody, but that is one of the more literal interpretations of these cards, because the stork can talk about things in their infancy, and then with the child right beside that, it can be talking about, you know, somebody who is pregnant, finding out that they are pregnant, letting you know that they are pregnant, all those sorts of things related to pregnancy and early childhood, okay, as well. So if you, you know, if you do have a small child as well, that may be very important this week as well, and that that birds card can sometimes talk about phone calls as well. Okay, so that's the only reason I say all those things, just to explain it to you there, that, you know, for someone out there, this could actually be a pregnancy being revealed this week. Okay, but other than that, just for everybody else, because that probably only resonates for like maybe one person out there, um, the stork does sort of talk about stirring up the new elements and you know, the, like I said, the infancy of things, so the beginnings of things, especially with the child there too. So what we do see here with the stork and the child on that sort of a level is something, you know, this is stirring it up and making it start, okay, and then the child is sort of the first stages of it growing, okay. So we are sort of seeing the start of something new this week for you guys. It does sort of, it could, I'm not getting a clear read on what area of life that could be in. So it could be a multitude of things, you know, like work, you know, an actual person coming into your life and creating some sort of new relationship there, you know, but the child also does sort of let us know that we just need to be quite innocent about the way we're looking at things, you know, giving the benefit of the doubt, I feel. So even if you are feeling a little bit stirred up and uneasy about anything new happening in your life at the moment, to really have that sort of sense of innocence and wonderment at what's going on, because it does feel like a positive energy, and especially with this particular birds card there, it is such a loving birds energy, and it really does talk about happy, like happy conversations and chatting, and you know, even a little bit of gossipy behavior, you know, it could be reminiscing about things that happened in your childhood, who, whatever this new thing is sort of stirring up the reminiscing about things that have happened, but it's really talking about, you know, that excitement as well. You know, the birds, you know, they flutter around, you know, so they do have a really big sense of excitement with the child next to them. So, you know, whatever this new thing is coming into your life this week, it does feel like something just in the beginning stages, but it's something to be excited about. Okay, so even if you're a bit nervous about, you know, and it might stir up some things for you, especially with that take off your mask card, it may be stirring up some deep-seated sort of insecurities or things like that from your childhood. you know, but there really is a huge level of excitement and, you know, excited conversations about this new thing. Okay, so I'm getting actually really good energy off that. But we'll have a look at some direct advice when it comes to this new thing this week for you, Cancer. Advice for Cancer this week, please. Whoa. So we're definitely seeing communication. That card that just jumped out was the letter. Okay, and yeah, definitely positive news on the way, I would say, because we have the communication card there, the letter, and then the fish, which is the abundance and finances card as well. So we definitely could be stirring up some new things in our financial situation, in our work situation, or just general abundance in life. Okay, so but whatever it is, it's going to need you to take off that mask and be vulnerable and be your true self. Okay, so that's going to actually serve you best this week, is taking off that mask, and that's really going to let the abundance flow. Okay, and so if we're talking about actual people or relationships, it could talk also about multiple options, because as we see, you know, lots of little fish in the picture there. You know, it could talk about, you know, multiple streams of revenue, multiple people, multiple options on the table when it comes to abundance. So an abundance of options coming out for you. But we are seeing a lot of communication as well. So, you know, with those other cards there, like the stork and the child, all talking about new, and then the birds talking about talking, and like that chatter, that excitement, and then we're seeing further. You know, that's the best advice for you. Talk it all out. You know, make sure you're communicating clearly about what it is you need from this new thing, what you want, desire, whatever. You know, because, you know, texts, emails, FaceTime, any sort of communication there, contracts, those sorts of things as well, especially with the fish. It could definitely be like, you know, signing new contracts for you guys this week. That definitely could be something in the works for you there, like signing some sort of you know, work documents that are going to help bring in some money, signing off on new loans or things like that. You know, we definitely are seeing there is a possible paperwork connection with the letter as well. So that's your advice, is to sort of look at it as, you know, this is an abundant period. That's your advice, is to, you know, just focus on the abundance of offers or whatever it is coming in for you there, and make sure we're communicating to our best ability as well. Okay, and now before we head off, Cancer, we're going to just have a look this week. I'm just doing a bit of a special bonus this week where I'm looking at the physical intimacy for you this week as well. So, and yes, I am talking about that adults only physical intimacy. We are just being careful the way we word things, because YouTube doesn't like certain terms. Okay, so what's going on for Cancer with physical intimacy this week, please? Okay, so to be completely honest, we're not actually seeing any signs of outright physical intimacy. Not saying that that's not the case for you, you know, but we are sort of seeing our focus being elsewhere. Okay, so we've got the moon, the fox, and the letter once again. Okay, so the moon is going to be talking about emotional sensitivities and that sort of a thing. You know, it also talks about quite a lot about, you know, beauty and luck, but I feel that in this instance, it's talking about that you're following your intuition and you're focusing on the moon rather than intimacy. You know, you just focused on other things at the moment, really, and your intuition is telling you to focus on this other issue at the moment rather than physical. Okay, so that's all I'm sort of getting off the moon today, because this this combination here, the fox and the letter, I feel that the fox is directly talking about like a more, because it can sometimes have that like salesperson type of vibe. Talks about, you know, being cunning, being smart, being clever with the way that we're communicating. So once again, the way that I told you about the advice with the letter in the first time there, that we do need to really be smart about the way that we're communicating this week. You know, we are seeing that once again in your more physical intimacy side this week as well. So it's taking, you know, whatever this other message is for you this week, it kind of is overriding any, you know, more physical things going on for you this week. So, you know, like I said, not saying that isn't going to be happening for you this week. It's just sort of saying your mind is elsewhere, and you're focused on, you know, this is your priority this week. You're not too worried about the physical stuff this week. You're worried about this issue this week, and making sure we're communicating clearly about other things. But it could also be about that as well. You know, like, you know, we do need to sometimes be clearer with the way that we're communicating in the bedroom or whatever, you know, so it could also talk about that as well. But the fox is kind of a self-serving salesman type energy. So, you know, it's talking about, I feel that you're just in this particular energy this week and focused on, you know, selling yourself to the best of your ability, taking off that mask and selling yourself to the best of your ability. So, like I said, with it could possibly be work documents, those types of things. It could even be, you know, working on your resume, making sure your resume is up to date, all those sorts of things as well. It doesn't feel like, you know, there was definitely that sense of excitement about it though. So, you know, no wonder it's taking our focus off other things at the moment. So, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. You know, sometimes we do need to focus on other areas of life. So, if that's the case for you guys this week, that is totally fine. But also, just a side note, when I've asked about that, and that was our overview card, okay? So when it does come to physical intimacy, that could be something we need to do as well. You know, that could be like cosplay, dressing up a little bit, those sorts of things. Just to, had to chuck something in there, right? Because like I said, it's only a new little section I'm adding in this week as a bit of a bonus. So, you know, I don't know how everyone's going to enjoy that, you know, or whatever, but let me know in the comments. And, you know, if you do comment, you will also go in the draw for a free personal reading as well. Make sure you subscribe so you can keep updated when that is drawn. But yeah, if this is where we leave you, thank you very much, Ken. So have a great one. Hi, Leo. How are we today? Moving over to Leo. Just doing a just a bit of a whatever comes out reading today, Leo. I have got a bit of a bonus going on at the end as well with the reading today. But firstly, I'll be grabbing an overview for you from the Heal Yourself deck. So this is a just an oracle type reading deck. It does have just sort of one keyword, so we're just running with that as our general overview for the week. Leo. So yeah, we're just looking at the end of April 2023. Oh, Gemini just got the same overview. So we've got the dreams card there. So Gemini did just get that as well. So if you do have strong Gemini placements, you know, maybe check that one as well. But, you know, that really does talk about, you know, your dreams. So not just your physical dreams, but also the things that we daydream about as well, like the things that, you know, we would wish for, you know, that we think are impossible. You know, it's sort of letting us know that maybe they're not quite as impossible as we thought. Okay, so, and it's really talking about, you know, now being the time to start manifesting those things that are those dreams that you may have been holding on to and sort of not letting out there into the universe, but now sort of is the time to start thinking a little bit about those and letting them manifest. you know, even if they are, you know, beyond impossible, once you've sort of thought that out, then we can start to look backwards at the steps and take the smallest little steps to start getting up there to that impossible goal. Okay. So that is what's important to us at the moment, Leo. So that's going to be our overview for the week there. It could also talk about your actual dreams as well. So if you are someone who has like reoccurring dreams, or, you know, you are dreaming about people in your life pretty regularly or anything like that, those dreams may hold some importance for you this week. So really paying attention to what our actual dreams are, like if you can remember them. I know not everybody remembers their dreams, but you know, if you are a person that does dream, that they may hold some clues for you this week as well about some you know, things going on the subconscious level for you as well. Okay, so Leo for April 2023, the end of April 2023. Okay, so we're seeing the tree, the book. Oh, yep, the book. Sorry. Two cards are very similar in this deck. And then the scythe there as well. Okay, so what we're sort of seeing is, you know, with the tree there, just sometimes there is a bit of a different meaning with that one, and that's actually coming through today. Okay, so we're talking more about knowledge and wisdom and learning. Okay, so education and those sorts of themes at the moment with the tree. So there may be something that you are, you know, literally putting your head in the books, so to speak, and studying up on something, I feel is what's sort of important for you at the moment. You know, there's something that we need to sort of educate ourselves about. And so if we're looking at that overview card being the dreams as well, maybe it is actually looking into those things that you do secretly dream and wish for, and actually starting to put some research into, you know, how could I actually make this not the impossible for me? How could I actually get to this dream in my reality? Like, you know, because like I said, you know, nothing is impossible in this world. Like, it's all up to us, really. Like, and you can manifest pretty much anything that you want in this life. It's just a matter of, you know, giving ourselves the right self-education and you know, being able to learn how to manifest things and those sorts of things as well, right? So so it really does feel like education and research being important to you this week. So you guys are probably going to know a little bit more about, you know, if you're studying or anything like that. Obviously, that's going to be talking about that being quite important for you this week. Okay, because we are seeing, yeah, the physical book there as well. So the book can talk about, you know, new chapters in our life and opening the book on new chapters and writing our own story in life as well. So, but as you can sort of see in this particular card, she's chewing on the pencil and she's got her face up into the sky, like pondering, you know. So that once again is bringing me back to that dreams card where it's sort of, she's sort of pondering, oh, what do I want to write next in this book? And it's like, where do my dreams want to take me? I need to look into this. I need to educate myself on how to make these dreams a reality. Okay, so I think that's kind of what the message is coming through for you today, Leo. It's really talking about educating yourself on, you know, how do I write this next chapter in my life? How do I finish this story of me? You know, like what, like if I could write a book about my life, how do I want it to end? You know what I mean? Like, how do I want it to look from here on out? How, you know, I really feel that that's going to be important. And then with the scythe, it's talking about sudden changes. So it's sort of talking about, you know, doing your research, working out exactly what it is that you want to write in this next chapter, and then making the changes necessary to get to those things. Okay, so like I said, you know, nothing is sort of impossible. Like, even if you feel that it's all the way over here, you know, once you've got it there, you can sort of put step back, step back, step back, step back, step back to the smallest little things, the smallest little changes that you can make in your life now to start getting you to the right things that you actually want. Okay, so I feel that that's kind of what that's sort of saying to us at the moment, Leo, is really just sort of educating yourself on what it is that you really dream about for yourself in the future, and what you do really dream, like how you do dream your book to be written, basically. Okay, and then slowly starting to make some changes in order to get to those chapters. Okay, it's up to you how long that book goes as well, right? So you can sort of start little and work your way out, make these small little changes, adjust as need be, and then hopefully get to the dream at the end of the day, before the book is finished. But I'll get you some direct advice there, Leo, as well. Advice for Leo, please, for the end of April 2023. Okay, so we're seeing the whip, the bear, all right, and then the cross as well. I adore this card. Okay, so the whip, okay, can talk about a bit of tension, all right? So we might have a little bit of tension when it comes to this stage of actually making the changes. But it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of telling me that, if you're not, if you don't have that sense of tension or anxiety about something, it doesn't mean anything to you as much, you know what I mean? Like when you have tension about a certain issue, it shows you that it's important to you to resolve that trouble. Okay, so I feel like that's what I need to tell you with that advice, because the bear is a very sort of protective, self-protective kind of energy, and he is a very strong, and he can be a little bit defensive. So we might be seeing some tension coming through this week when it comes to being a bit defensive about making these changes. I feel it's in regard to but kind of feeling that vibe of just roll with it, guys. Like, just trust in the universe, because with the cross, that's pretty much what the cross means. It's kind of that destiny. You're following your destiny, just and it's sort of telling you, with the cross imagery, whether you believe in God or the universe, it's kind of saying that it's that whole vibe of just trust in spirit, trust in the universe, trust in God. Okay, trust in whatever it is that you believe in, whatever these dreams are. Believe in your dreams. Okay, and trust that your dreams will come true, because they will, so that's kind of what the dream, that, like, the dreams mixed with that cross card is telling me, is that you really just need to trust the process at the moment, and just trust in yourself as well, I suppose, because the bear can talk about your sense of self a little bit too, because it's that kind of mama bear protective energy. They'll rear up to protect everyone around them, so it is a very protective type energy as well. So that could be what's bringing on some tension as well, that we want to protect everyone around us, and we can't always do that. Sometimes we do need to allow other people to make their own mistakes and those sorts of things as well. So I feel that that's important for you to know at this point, Leo. But the overriding message being that trusting in the universe, and that things are happening the way that they should, relying on your own sense of religion or spirituality or whatever, your own beliefs, relying on your own beliefs, and trusting that things will work out for you one way or another. The universe it'll let things happen the way that they are supposed to, so if you do have these deep-seated dreams, you'll get to them the way that you are meant to, and so you just got to trust it, I suppose. And trust in yourself as well. But before we go, Leo, I am doing a bit of a bonus this week, looking into our physical intimacy this week. What's going on with our physical intimacy this week? I am talking about 18 plus physical intimacy. I've just got to be careful the way I word certain things with YouTube's policies and whatnot as well. Okay, so Leo and physical intimacy for Leo this week, please. Okay, so we're seeing for the more physical side of things for you, Leo, we're seeing some, you know, the stork energy there, the fox energy, as well as the whip energy there as well. So the stork definitely stirring things up, things getting stirred up for you this week on a physical level. Okay, now we're talking about an energy that you're coming into contact this week, and they're in their fox energy. Okay, so they're in a little bit of a self-serving type energy, but also a little bit of that salesman type energy. Like they will say whatever they need to stir you up a little bit and get you going. Okay, and then with the whip energy, when it comes to physical intimacy, that kind of means one thing and one thing only, and that is, you know, whips. So I can't even hold a straight face, and I'm trying to work out how to word it really PG, but but you know, if you know, right? But it is talking about those more, especially with the fox energy coming on through there. We are talking about someone wanting to get into a bit of dominant play with you this week, Leo. Okay, so whether you're the dominant or they are, that's fine. That's up to you guys, you know. But you know, we are looking at some more rough play this week with that as well when it comes to physical intimacy, and that's sort of stirring something up. Things getting stirred up with you this week, Leo. So you know, interesting. Sorry, I literally cannot keep a straight face. I'm wondering why I chose to add this portion in when I can't even deal with it. But you guys give me your thoughts on that one anyway. Let me know if that's if I'm on the right vein with that one for you guys. If that's even something you're into or not. But yeah, so like I said though, things getting stirred up a bit for you this week, so that may be something brand new to you, because the stork card does have a new element quite a lot of the time, so that might be something new that you're exploring this week as well, Leo. So but you may have had some dreams about that as well, so follow those dreams, Leo. You know, if you're having any more intimate dreams, they may be quite important this week as well, with that dreams card in the overview. So like I said, let me know. I'm a bit nosy, so I like to get all the goss. But no, leave me a comment anyway, because anyone that comments will be in the draw for a free personal when that's drawn. So make sure you subscribe so you can be kept in the loop. You know, but if this is where we leave each other, I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks, Leo. And we'll move over on to Virgo. How are we, Virgo? Leo's just got me all giggly, so I'm sorry in advance if I'm still in a bit of a mood. We're just doing a reading for the last week of April 2023 there, Virgo. But firstly, we're just going to grab a Heal Yourself oracle there. And I do also have with me the Art Nouveau Lenormand, as well as the Reynas do Fogo Lenormand. That's the Fire Queen's deck there. We're going to be doing a bit of a bonus this week at the end with that second Lenormand deck. So stay tuned for more, as they say. But yeah, so Virgo for the last week of April 2023. Okay, someone else had this same card Virgo, I think it was Aries, had this same card. And this is the selling out card there. Okay, so that actually talks about, like how we're giving our energy away, like, and looking at ourselves and how, things that we might be doing for people that we don't truly want to actually be doing, and how are we sort of selling ourselves out? How are we selling ourselves short? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but, prostitution is a lot more than just your body. You can be selling out your energy and selling out your soul, so to speak, when it comes to the way that we're behaving and things like that. How are we, what are we doing that we don't truly want to be doing? Okay, so it might be talking about, giving so much yourself to other people that, and they never giving back to you. So it can talk about that sort of a thing as well. But we'll grab you some cards and see if we can get a little bit more clarity on that energy for you. And like I said, Aries did get that same card as well for their overview. So if you do have strong Aries placements, maybe worth watching that particular segment as well. Okay, so Virgo for the last week of April 2023, please. Whoa, throwing things at me, Virgo. Okay, so we're seeing some positive energies coming through there. We are seeing the rider, the dog, as well as the sun there. Okay. So now I will just point out too that the selling out overview card does say number 1 on it, and the rider is actually the number 1 card in the Lenormand deck there as well. So just for some reason, being number 1 might be important to you at the moment, and it's sort of how are you selling out to be number 1? Like, you don't have to be number 1, kind of a thing. Yeah, but there we go. We are getting some good news coming through this week, Virgo. It's looking like it's going to come from a friend or a friendly place, because the dog does represent somebody who does have loyalty, compassion towards us. It's that sort of friendship kind of energy, that supportive friend type energy, and then so it's pretty straightforward, actually, to be honest. I can't really go too much into more detail when there's no extra detail to give. It is a very straightforward message today, Virgo, because whatever this good news that's on the way from potentially a friend energy, it is happiness, and it's like revealing things that are going to bring happiness. So whatever this news is, it's going to be revealing something to you that is going to sort of result in happiness for you, Virgo. So the sun really does, shine down and give us all that warmth and positivity. So whatever this news is that's coming in, and like I said, it's good news. The writer usually is a very, that kind countenance type person coming in with this news. And then with the friend card in the middle, they're showing you a lot of loyalty by telling you this news or whatever it is. And it's coming in with, that revealing energy and that happiness energy. So whatever you're finding out this week is definitely some sort of positive news headed your way there. But I'll get some advice for you for this week, Virgo. Okay, so your advice for this week is we have the lily, the moon, and then the letter. Okay, so once again, super straightforward, okay, because the lily does talk about in this factor, it does talk about intimacy and longevity, okay, and then we have the moon, which talks about emotional sensitivities, and then we have the letter, which talks about communication, like text, email, phone calls, FaceTime, online talking, all those sorts of any type of communication, right? So the straightforward message being that, making sure that your advice being that this week, any communication, whenever this good news does come in, make sure you're communicating, in a place where you're coming from your emotional best interests as well as your interests for long term. Okay, so we're looking at making sure that yourself and your emotional interests are being looked after, and yeah, like once again, a more intimate level, that intimate connection with your emotions there, making sure we're coming from a place where we are prioritizing our emotional selves, and making sure we're prioritizing what's best for us in the long run. Okay, so that's the advice for you this week, Virgo. But I feel like that's sort of letting you know as well that whatever this good news is, like the moon once again is a very strong card of good luck. The lily there is a strong card of intimacy. So this good news could be something quite close to your heart, and with this could be something you already sort of intuitively know as well. But like I said, the vibes on that are fantastic because seeing both the moon and the sun in the reading together is actually like one of the best combinations. They're both that celestial type energy, so it is a very strong positive energy coming through. That even your advice is quite positive. It's just telling you to make sure you're taking your own emotions and your own like looking at what's best for you in the long term. So I feel like that might come back to that selling out card as well. Don't sell out. Make sure we're looking out for our long-term interests. Don't sell out this week. Whatever this news or offer or whatever it is coming your way, it's talking about don't sell out your emotions and don't sell out your long-term best interests, because you are going to get this positive result without selling out. Okay, so I think that's why the selling out card has come out for you today. So yeah, not much more I can say about that particular spread there, but we are sort of also doing a bit of a bonus this week with the Reynolds do Virgo deck. So this week we're going to be looking at what's coming up for you with physical intimacy. Okay, so we saw the intimacy card come out with the lily there, but this is all about the physical intimacy. Okay, so that physical life side of ourselves where it's adults only physical intimacy. Okay, so I've got to be careful about how I word things on YouTube, of course. So but I think by now everyone probably has the gist of what I mean, right? Especially if you do watch other readers. As soon as you hear someone refer to YouTube as the Disney Channel, everyone kind of knows that we're about to talk about something a little less PG, and we're just trying to word it carefully. Okay, so what's going on for Virgo this week with physical intimacy? The last week of April 2023 for Virgo, please. Okay, so we are seeing a definite person energy coming through, but we've got here the garden, the letter once again, as well as the masculine energy there. So whether you yourself are the masculine in the story, Virgo, that's up to you to decide. We do just talk about that being a person. I don't really care what gender they are. It just talks about sort of that more masculine energy. As you can sort of see in this particular deck, it is a very passionate type, desirous masculine energy coming through. So we are sort of seeing the garden and the letter, and in combination, those guys are definitely going to be talking about some sort of invitation, proposition headed your way, meeting somebody new, and communicating with them. So, the garden, yeah, it can talk about, and once again, we saw that friends card out out in the original spread for you there. So you know, this, it does talk about meeting with friends and that social aspect. So we may be finding that there's a friend of ours that might want a little bit more. You know, so then that might be what this good news is headed your way this week, okay? Because we're seeing communication once again in the more physical side. So these two things could definitely be you know, somehow connected. You know, because like I said, sometimes this could be talking about meeting up with friends as well. So, and communicating with friends. So could be, you know, you could be meeting somebody through friends, or you go out with your friends and you know, meeting up with somebody. But we're definitely looking at sort of meeting up with somebody or meeting somebody altogether, and having that communication that it does feel quite new as well. So it definitely could be meeting somebody new, starting that process of communication, and then finishing it off by throwing our head back and go, whoa. I can't help but get the giggles when I'm trying to say these things without saying things too full on. Disney Channel protecting themselves, eh? But yeah, so once again though, don't sell out. You know, you can you're going to get this for just some communication, so there's no need to sell out, okay? But yeah, definitely seeing an actual person in your physical intimacy kind of area this week, Virgo. So let me know in the comments how that goes for you guys. Yeah, like I said, it's just talking about meeting up with this person. So if it's somebody you're already in connection with, it's just making sure we're meeting up with them this week, and definitely making sure we're communicating. Communicating clearly this week is quite important for you there as well, okay? Yeah, so and someone really embracing their masculinity as well. So if you are the masculine, embrace it, and if they are the masculine, you know, help them embrace their masculinity in the bedroom this week as well. That should yield good results. But I am going to be splitting this into 2 videos. So this will be my last reading for this half. But Virgo, make sure you do leave a comment below so you can go in the running for that free personal reading. And I will be drawing that when I hit 100 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to the channel as well so you can keep updated. But if this is where we leave each other, thank you so much, and I'll see you all again soon.